What's up everyone, welcome back to another Year End Countdown right here on ARTV. My name is John, and today we're going to be talking about my top 20 favorite albums of 2018. This was a very interesting year, and also I think a good year outside of the mainstream. There were many disappointing records, and if you would like to check out that year-end countdown, there will be a link in the description down below. But there were still many things that had me excited, and a lot of those came from bands and artists that I wasn't necessarily as familiar with before this year. Keep in mind that I tend to focus more on rock, alternative, and pop on my channel and in my listening habits, so that is maybe why you don't see a certain EDM record or a certain rap record. And that's not to say that there won't be any rap records on this, because that's not true at all. I just wanted to float that information out there. Also, keep in mind that everything that I say today is my own personal opinion. I urge you, I implore you to check out these records for yourself, but first, let's roll some honorable mentions. I hope that you'll check out those records as well, and keep in mind I will be doing a most underrated albums of the year list, and none of those honorable mentions or the ones that you'll see in this video today will be featured there. Please drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's break into the countdown with my number 20 selection. Lindsey gives us a coming-of-age story with plenty of sadness, but also a lot of light. Snailmail is her stage name, and when paired together with her backing band, I'd have to say that they sound pretty lush. You see what I did there, and you hate me for it. Whether she's roaring with life on the hook-fueled Full Control, showing off guitar prowess with Heatwave, or taking us on a melancholic journey on Deep Sea, it's an adventure well worth the price of admission. Which really isn't much in the age of streaming, now is it? You've got no excuse, go check it out for yourself. The punk rock band Drug Church drilled a real fucking solid hole into our skull with their album this fall, but outside of critics, it doesn't seem like a ton of people were giving them the attention that they deserve. These dudes shred it hard, but fixate on more clean vocal patterns and melodies throughout, making this their most fun work to date. Flirting with the idea of pop isn't necessarily a terrible thing, despite what our minds might try to tell us. Just listen to Unlicensed Hall Monitor rip down the door for you, or the hits like Weed Pen, Grubby, and many more, which are going to continue to win you over. The drumming is fantastic throughout, and the musicianship matched with the protest lyrics with a variety of different issues at hand kept me entertained through and through. After dropping a series of non-album projects, Sophie Allison aka Soccer Mommy dropped her debut album Clean into the world. Sophie has a knack for describing scenarios and making you either relate or else feel the hints of sarcasm or wisdom that she's dropping. The trail leads you to not only some fantastically catchy tunes, but also plenty of moody cuts like the title track that opens up the record that'll get you lost in the wilderness of your own mind. Sit with this one in bed at night and hold it tight and feel all of the feels. Veteran rapper Eminem bounced back from what was arguably his worst album to date with one of his best. Kamikaze puts M back in contention with the best of them after his last KO, proving that you truly can pen the good stuff while you're down and out. Immediately, I sensed a darker, more eerie feeling when I pressed play on The Ringer for the first time. The rap god tore through enemies like a snowplow, easily pushing them to the side with a barrage of bars and rhymes. Many people and fans counted the man as washed up and just simply done for, but I truly feel that Kamikaze proved them wrong, whether they're willing to admit that or not. Kamikaze brought about some fierce collaborations, with Lucky You featuring Joyner Lucas being one of the best rap songs of the year, and Not Alike with Royce da 5'9" fueling the controversy that led to the MGK beef. I'll readily admit that Good Guy and Nice Guy featuring Jesse Reyes are cringy as hell, but I'll defend the rest of the album with everything in me, and yes, that includes Venom. Venom. Although I wish it could have been just a little bit longer, Florence and the Machine continue their streak of never having released a bad or even mediocre album with their more down-to-earth High as Hope. I got to experience the songs in a live setting, which helped even further tie down my opinions of them being great. Florence Welch is a performer, both in the studio and on the stage. It's clear that her heart is in every move the record makes, carefully crafted and sealed with love. A song for her sister Grace is quite charming. The End of Love once again proves that songs inspired by dreams are wonderful, and South London Forever is quite excellent in its best form. This is the most vulnerable and personal record the group have ever released, so if you're interested in stripping back some of the metaphors and getting to know Flo, set your sights on High as Hope. Pop punk fused with the sounds of post-hardcore make for a double whammy of greatness on Trash Boat's debut full-length.
What would you say if I changed my name to Trash Boat?
Hailing from the UK and rocking their fucking socks off, Crown Shyness shimmers with feelings of paranoia, anger, frustration, and depression. Channeling all of those feelings could be hard, especially processing them properly through music, but Trash Boat rarely fumbled the delivery of these tough topics. I think the album's peak moments include the lead single Shade that was driven by aggressive vocals, alongside Controlled Burn, Undermine, and the all too relatable title track Crown Shyness. Talk about capturing sadness and a dark reality in a bottle. That's exactly what they did on that title track. This is a must-hear for rock fans, pop punk fans, post-hardcore fans. You can feel free to thank me later. How do you cope with the loss of a friend, bandmate, and somebody you probably consider a brother? Mike Shinoda and the rest of the world lost Chester Bennington in 2017, and the struggle to find solid ground became incredibly evident for Mike. Shortly after the Hollywood Bowl show Linkin Park and Friends played in celebration of Chester's life, Mike released the post-traumatic EP consisting of 3 troubled songs. He expanded on this idea even further by releasing the post-traumatic LP consisting of 15 songs, and hot damn, it was good. Don't get stuck on the thought that every single song is about Chester, because they're simply not. Even About You featuring Black Bear might not be about him. The crushing grief and reality sets in further on the standout moments Nothing Makes Sense Anymore and Promises I Can't Keep leading the way, taking the sound of both Linkin Park and Mike's own unique approach to making music. Mike is able to process some of the hurt into catchiness and love too, taking a minute with Worlds on Fire to thank his wife for being his rock, and using Hold It Together to describe his world being turned upside down and an unexpected banger. Even songs like Ghosts that I wasn't necessarily all hyped about at first have grown on me, and I really respect Mike's choice to keep pushing forward and using music as an outlet, as a therapy for his thoughts. Breaking down mentally and holed up in a hotel room, Josh Tillman was almost quite literally living on the rocks. The last Father John Misty record, Pure Comedy, had dropped just a year prior, but he was already feeling the urge to create, although life seemed to be throwing some roadblocks his way. God's Favorite Customer gives us a glimpse into the tangled but very intelligent mind of a man that's been a critic darling for his past few album cycles. Despite his cynicism and wit that's filled up much of his music that's been released prior to this, he allowed himself to be more weak and straightforward with God's Favorite Customer. Hang Out at the Gallows was one of the best opening songs of 2018. Disappointing Diamonds alongside Mr. Tillman are two of FJM's most irresistible tunes to date, and The Palace. Oh man, is somebody cutting onions in here? Damn you, onions! Versatile but cohesive, Tillman really dials it all in for the listener on God's Favorite Customer. My choice for the lucky number 13 spot. One of the best feelings for a fan of a band is to not only see them make a great follow-up, but for them to tear the sophomore slump to shreds. Vocalist Henry Cox leads the British rock band Boston Manor to a fictional version of the town Blackpool, where darkness and drugs far outweigh prosperity and health. The band examined this world quite well, and even though my biggest gripe that keeps me from fully loving the record is the often repetitive, simple hooks, it's still overwhelmingly effective when it's firing on all cylinders. Halo grabbed me by the ears and wouldn't let go, which was already a great sign, but to follow it up with an even better single, Bad Machine? I pre-ordered the album, and I almost never do that on blind faith alone. Alas, my faith mostly paid off here, and even though I do feel like Halo and Bad Machine were the best songs here, we also get the menacing England's Dreaming along with Funeral Party and Hate Me that add fuel to the fire. Wyoming Sessions release number 1 for good music was Pusha T's album Daytona. And you know what, damn it? It was the best of them, because Kanye West production was absolutely god tier and Pusha T was just on fire. King Push sails through this brief 7-song affair, tying up loose ends and boasting his knowledge of the drug game, moving bars faster than he's probably ever moved bricks. He's long since been removed from that world and currently sits as the president of good music, but that doesn't mean that he can't reflect on the past at length on bangers like If You Know, You Know and Santeria. I actually liked Rick Ross on the track Hard Piano, which is something that I haven't said in quite some time, and Infrared took aim at Drake and is something that really caused quite a ripple across the music community, especially the follow-up track that wasn't on this album, The Story of Adion. Adion, it doesn't matter, Drake has a kid. The fact of the matter is that Pusha T never stopped bringing the heat and creativity on this short but sweet album. It goes by so quickly that you're bound to play it again and again. We've marched our way into the top 10, and the first entry inside this part of the list is Beach House with their album 7. Alex Scally and Victoria Legrand make up this dream pop duo, and once again on their 7th album, they've struck gold. Or should I say they've struck lemon, because, you know, like gold and lemons, they're similar colors. You know what? Never mind. Pay no mind to me. Okay, I'm done with the puns, but I'm serious about Beach House's 7 being great. They boldly stepped into new territory without losing themselves in the process, something that I really can't say for too many artists that quote-unquote experimented in 2018. Legrand's vocals remain reverb-soaked and hazy, but there's more of a clarity in a lyrical sense. Society has been flipped upside down over the past few years, and that confusion and anger stirred something within the duo. It not only encouraged them to pull from the political divide for lyrical inspiration, but it went a step further by using metaphors and introspection to explore the turmoil. The record opens up with an almost intentionally cheesy splash of 80s sounding drums on Dark Spring before settling into a more expected Beach House styled groove. There's so many working moving parts that come together, as the duo decided to push themselves and not just stick to the sounds that they could replicate with live instrumentation. Lemon Glow was my pick for Song of the Year, magnetizing with its dizzying synths and drum machine counterparts. I saw a comment around the time of release for 7 that said, Lemon Glow sounds like something that Schoolboy Q would remix and rap over, and I'm still over here patiently waiting because that sounds perfect. I mean, Kendrick Lamar and J-Rock did it with Silver Soul into Money Trees, so why not Schoolboy Q and Lemon Glow? Among the other standouts, we have the gentle Lose Your Smile and a chilling change of pace and exploration of minimalism and atmosphere on Black Car, and several other musings of aging come out. For example, the splendid Drunk in LA, where Legren uses lines such as, I would climb the Eiffel Tower, write letters in the sky as visceral imagery that works so well. I fucking hate that this album is so overlooked, not only by critics, but just by the fans at large. Their last album, Tyranny, it charted over 100 places higher than this one that landed at number 151, which is so bad on the Billboard 200. It's Julian Casablancas, it's The Voids, come on! Critics seem to dismiss this as being too chaotic or else too all over the place and underwritten, and while I suppose at surface level I can understand those complaints, it's once you actually get into this record and you hear the point of what the experimental rockers The Voids were trying to say. It wasn't that they were trying to go for perfect cohesion, it's that they were trying to showcase the manic tendencies of the world around us as it snaps back and forth between anger, sadness, and occasional happiness. Julian Casablancas and company might open on a more Strokes-esque single Leave It in My Dreams, but good God do they throw that sound out the window pretty quickly. Immediately after that, we get Curious as track number 2, which sounds kinda like a hyped up version of 808s and Heartbreak, and Pyramid of Bones gets downright heavy, and the hits don't stop coming from there. All throughout, you'll find dynamic, edgy, well-layered tracks that offer an expansive sonic palette. I highly recommend the aforementioned tracks alongside the psychedelic pop found on Pink Ocean, and almost Sir Sly sounding Alien Nation, and My Friend the Walls. Those are great tracks to start with, and you can explore some of the others from there. It's perhaps a difficult listen at first, something that you just pick up, but once the switch is flipped on, it's on, and there's no going back. One of rap's brightest up-and-coming stars shone brightly on the oddly stylized Taboo, a product of hustle, drive, and determination, along with plenty of self-expression. Taboo is divided into 3 distinct sections: light, gray, and dark. Each section of the album seems to reflect his current mental state while writing and recording on the album, with the killer opening cuts like Black Balloons and the light section absolutely being flames. Denzel does have a fire lit inside, and you can truly hear that conveyed through your speakers when listening. Perks cuts through dime a dozen SoundCloud rappers like a razor, proving that he definitely stands out in that scene. Black Metal Terrorist closes everything out with a bang, and Straight Fire comes in the form of Sumo, and possibly the rap single of the year that definitely went underrated, Clout Cobain. Even if hip-hop isn't your forte or your favorite genre, you have to give this a try. While they've consistently been talented, I don't know if Canadian band Metric had been reaching their full potential in recent years. Since 2012's album Synthetica, I felt like something was a bit off, like maybe they had slightly lost their mojo, but album number 7, Art of Doubt, definitely sees them getting it back. Justin Meldal Johnson produced this beauty, proving once again why he should be one of the most sought-after producers in alternative. In just the past 2 years alone, he's produced the likes of Jimmy Eat World's Integrity Blues, Paramore's After Laughter, and Wolf Alice's Visions of a Life. Now he's added Art of Doubt to his portfolio, and I ask you, where is the bad album? Where's the even remotely mediocre album? nowhere to be found. I gave an extensive review to this quaint, buzzing, and sophisticated album, but to sum it up, basically, Metric brought back the guitars and Emily Haynes found passion and command in her voice once again. There's too many great highlights to name, but just hit play. Trust me, hit play, kick back, and let the warmth of the experience embrace you. Crushing stereotypes and pummeling everything in your path? That's punk as fuck, and Idles absolutely dominate once again on their sophomore album Troy's Inactive Division. An overflow of rage and a determination to right injustices fill vocalist Joe Talbot to the brim, yet somehow he manages to both teach lessons and be a huge part of making these songs so hooky and unforgettable. Obviously, we need to give credit where credit is due, so let's not forget the pumping bass that drives so much of the album forward, the lashing guitar that shreds and breathes in new life, and the very much punk drumming that encapsulates much of Resistance. Key tracks include the smashing success Television that'll have you shouting along instantly, the immigration-focused Danny Nedelko, and of course the sad as hell song June that sees Talbot's grief over his daughter dying as she was born. Both political and personal, Resistance is kinda different from their debut album Brutalism. It still definitely comes from punk, and I wasn't exactly crazy about the critically acclaimed Brutalism, but this new album, there's something here that feels like it managed to capture all of the band's best qualities and further prove why they are so deserving to be even bigger than they are now. Soothing and smart, the alternative duo MGMT came back from about a half-decade off with possibly the best record of their career. It's everything I could have wanted from MGMT and more, as the lead single, also titled Little Dark Age, indicated right away. It set the bar high for my expectations, but they came through with jams like the sweet ode to a friend James, and the addiction-fueled time spent looking at my phone, and the frustrated When You Die, which also, might I add, features some of the most splendid background guitar work that definitely deserves more of a spotlight that I heard all year. Subtle touches like those guitars in the background that I just mentioned, or little synth tricks, or bass that pops up, or washed out vocals, all of those things invoke even more of a response from me and further cements this as one of the year's best records. Disconnect dropped as the lead single from Basement's new album Beside Myself, and I was smiling right away. The subtle shoegazy 90s influence along with the allure of early 2000s rock made it land for me, playing again and again until the full album released. They didn't disappoint in any way here, as every song feels vital and important, at least to some degree. Stigmata uses religious imagery to describe the feeling of darkness overtaking your mind, with a very 2000s leaning modern rock sounding guitar to further convey the message. Emo and grunge are definitely a big influence on this UK rock band once again, so start off with the loud Slip Away, Disconnect, and Keepsake, and then lose yourself in the chill-inducing little acoustic cut Changing Lanes. It might just be my favorite record from the UK rockers yet. This, of course, and Color Me and Kindness are up there, and they're very close to each other, but I suppose I'll need more time and listens to truly decide. Looking at it as a concept album with loose themes tying it to Dima, the Bishops, and of course Blurryface, this is an amazing album from start to finish. Looking at it as an album with catchy, dark, and spirited songs, this is an amazing album from start to finish. Whatever way you choose to listen to and interpret the album is entirely up to you, and I don't think that anybody should be judged for getting what they want to get out of it. The key here is that you're actually listening and that 21 Pilots have your attention on Trench. I honestly see this as a bold move coming off of the massive commercial success of Blurryface, but the duo took a bit of a gamble and crafted the vast world of Trench instead. Tyler Joseph and Mute Math's Paul Meany produced this together, giving it a finesse unlike anything we've ever seen from T.O.P. It shines in many ways, but it also connects due to its lyrical content that both implores the listener to take action and understands that they don't necessarily have all of the answer for the people who are listening. Appreciate the deeper meaning or vibe with the mesmerizing interpolation of hip-hop, electronica, and rock. I can confidently say that there is a song or two here for absolutely everyone, and it's kinda nice to see the community at large finally coming around on such a talented duo, 21 Pilots. Didn't see this one coming, did ya? Well, guess what? Neither did I. I was actually one of those dudes that didn't get the hype about Architects just a few short years ago, but thanks to being reintroduced to their album All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us through my own curiosity, I discovered just how unwarranted my distaste for them was. Holy Hell is a masterful work of art, battling both the weight of the world and the loss of their bandmate and brother, guitarist Tom Searle. Doomsday was released in late 2017 as one of Tom's final contributions to Architects, and the rest of the guys were unsure if they would even press on together as a band. Despite the pain and agony that they were feeling, they worked a miracle in the form of Holy Hell, a scalding trailblazer of a record that is possibly their greatest achievement to date. I found myself both tearing up and wanting to scream along to every single word the more time I spent with it, as the intricacies and the diversions are what make this album so special. Royal Beggars is one of the year's best songs without a doubt, and I'm kicking myself for slipping up and forgetting to include it in my top 50 best songs countdown. The Seventh Circle reaches a fever pitch where it feels as though Sam Carter simply can't take anymore, Death Is Not Defeat takes agony and turns it into a battle cry, and nearly every single song on Holy Hell is like a drug that you can't stop using. Play it loud and proud, because this one's for you, Tom. I think we all know that you'd be proud of what Architects crafted. Imagine a beam of sunlight so bright that you're caught off guard at first. You're standing in a meadow, and as your eyes adjust to the sun, you start to see an outline of Casey Musgraves in a silky dress with a guitar in hand. This is an artist in her prime, you think to yourself. An artist truly in her golden hour. Welcome to my selection for the best album of the year, Golden Hour, by country artist Casey Musgraves. Rivaling her peak of Same Trailer Different Park, Casey takes a completely different approach that feels both lighthearted and carefree. With as dark of a world as we live in, we need somebody to let the light in. The songs of Golden Hour feel genuine and down to earth, impressing simply because they're not trying to impress. The serenading acoustic guitar works magic all throughout, and Casey's slightly reverb-tinged voice hits such elegant highs and emotional lows. We share a moment of intimacy as she unveils the short piano ballad Mother. The title track Golden Hour explains how being content is the most wonderful feeling, plus we get a whole range of other emotions as indicated by a song title like Happy and Sad. I'll readily admit that I teared up so many times while listening to the sheer beauty of Oh What a World that features a very tasteful vocoded opening, and also of course my runner-up for Song of the Year, Slow Burn, that features that acoustic guitar and is just so inexplicably gorgeous. Casey Musgraves takes the crown for Best Album of 2018, and the best part is that I feel so confident in this decision. It just came easily to me, and I could see myself even 5 years down the road standing by this decision. It's spaced out, atmospheric, charming, and witty, and all around nearly perfect. Even tracks like Velvet Elvis that I'm still not head over heels for, I'll admit that they've significantly grown on me, and this is one of those albums that just gets better and ages like a fine wine. Thank you for the music, Casey. I cannot wait, and I think I should say we cannot wait to see what you create next. All of the albums that I reviewed in 2018, and even some of the ones that I never got the chance to talk about or else wanted to surprise you with on this list, are finally here in this conclusive bag of my top 20 albums of 2018. Let me know your own personal list in the comments section down below, and please drop a like on this video. This is something that I definitely labored over for so long because I'm so indecisive back and forth. So if you would like to show some love to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on other year-end content, and of course drop a like on this video and help me get this to 3,000 likes. If you're able to support the channel even further, then please go to my Patreon. It's the top link down below. It helps hard videos like this keep coming on a monthly basis because I do have other series that involve a lot of work. And of course, if you would like to grab yourself some merch for the Christmas season, then that is the second link down below, or else the merch shelf. There's a direct link to my Patreon that's right over here in the annotation in the corner of the screen, or you can see all of my year-end countdowns in this little handy-dandy playlist right here. You can see my review of Casey Musgraves' Golden Hour by tapping right here, my album of the year. Socials in the description, and I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.